أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أفرأيت الذي كفر بآياتنا وقال لأوتين مالا وولدا أطلع الغيب أم اتخذ عند الرحمن عهدا كلا سنكتب ما يقول ونمد له من العذاب مدا ونرثه ما يقول ويأتينا فردا واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة ليكونوا لهم عزا كلا سيكفرون بعبادتهم ويكونون عليهم ضدا ألم تر أنا أرسلنا الشياطين على الكافرين تؤزهم أزا فلا تعجل عليهم إنما نعد لهم عدا يوم نحشر المتقين إلى الرحمن وفدا ونسوق المجرمين إلى جهنم وردا لا يملكون الشفاعة إلا من اتخذ عند الرحمن عهدا وقالوا اتخذ الرحمن ولدا لقد جئتم شيئا إدا تكاد السماوات يتفطرن منه وتنشق الأرض وتخر الجبال هدا أن دعوا للرحمن ولدا وما ينبغي للرحمن أن يتخذ ولدا إن كل من في السماوات والأرض إلا آتي الرحمن عبدا لقد أحصاهم وعدهم عدا وكلهم آتيه يوم القيامة فردا صدق الله العظيم.
Now here I am a student as well as an active participant in Muslim affairs. So we come to, I hope you know what the word career means. What is a career? When we talk about a career, because I may be talking about something that, what is a career? Yes?
Wa alaikum salam.
Or a profession one wants to do.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So that is a career. That is a profession that you choose to do in future, that you want to focus on. So me, I started my career in 2000 as a student. So, and what is a family? Yes? I am not hearing. Because I'm a teacher, so sometimes I may use. Thank you so much. So now you have understood what. So I'm going to tell you how to balance the family plus the career together with your career. So here in 2000 is when I go to school. I start my career as a lawyer, student lawyer. In 2003, that is when I got married. I was in my third year. I got married to my dear husband, Matosh. Mashallah. So now here, I am now a student and a wife. Then, in 2004, when I completed my 4th year, that is when we had Fahima there.
MashaAllah.
In 2004. Just like you say. And remember here, she was introduced to this world in July. And in August, I had to go to LDC as hectic as, I don't know whether you have heard of what LBC is. So at that point, I had to balance. I had to balance to ensure that I don't fail my studies, I don't fail as a mother, and I don't fail as a wife. So, this is 2004. 2005, here I go to, I started in July. I joined, rather in August, I joined LBC. So 2005, I complete my studies in 2005. So after 2005, I go to start working. Okay, in 2005, that is when I joined the Islamic University in Uganda. Kampala campus, when it was still operating at the PTC. Right now it is there, but there is minimal operation. So here, I am a teacher, well, lecturer, whatever. What should I call it? Lecturer. Okay, I am a lecturer, but they hadn't yet introduced law at that time. But I was teaching law in other departments, like big business administration. I was teaching their business law, then public administration. I was teaching their administrative law, like that, because the law faculty had not yet been introduced as we were constructing the new site. So here, I am a lecturer, I am a wife, but also a mother of one. So I start working. In 2006, this one now is going very... Should I rub off this? Yes. Who is helping me with this one here? So you remind me that now I'm starting from 2006. But is it flowing? Yes. Is it making sense? Yes. Okay. So in 2006, we are looking at how to balance your career and the family. So 2006, I am now working. I enrolled for my master's. I am now a student again. Lecturer. Mother and a wife. You see how you have to balance all these, and you don't have to fail in the end of them. So in December 2006, Raihana comes up. So we are now there too. So I want you to know that you have to balance these things, and you don't have to fail. You can manage and you cannot fail, because as we are now getting, we want to be empowered as women. So how will you be empowered when you cannot juggle out these things? This is because I have not yet now started practicing in 2006. So 2006, I am still here student. Then I go to 2008. I open up my law firm in Chiboga. I started in Chiboga. Now I am a student, I am a lecturer, I am a mother of two, and I'm a wife. I am now starting a law firm. And I had to juggle out all those, because you cannot be seen to fail. Me, I left my parents home and they told me, we have burnt everything of yours, so don't you bother thinking of coming back home. So you have to juggle. And when I left, my husband was told that I have to continue studying for as long as I want. So I had to study. And I also had to work, because I had to pursue my career and my profession. and I could commute. I could commute to Chiboga, so you have to choose which days you're going to Chiboga, which days you're going to teach, which days, and you have to be at home also for your children to see you. You have to choose the best of how you have to manage your program very well. So this is in 2008. Now I'm becoming a mother. 2008. Here, I am still a student because I did my master's for 6 years, which was abnormal. It was abnormal, but there are some issues we had at the faculty that would not, that were not very favorable. Because the lecturer could come, you would go, they give you another one, you start afresh like that. But it wasn't my fault that I did my master's for 6 years. So in 2008, I am still a student, a lecturer, a mother of 2, but then in March we get a third born. So I am a mother of 3 and also a wife. I want to take, the reason I'm taking you through this is as regards the topic I'm presenting. How do you balance your career with the family? Some of you, when you get married, you say, these ones are becoming too many. Because most of you here are married materials. Me, I told you I got married in my family. But still I could manage. And you're going to tell me the lessons you have learned at the end of it all. So in 2008, here we are getting a third born. Then in 2010, I opened up another branch of law firm in Kampala. So I had to choose. I was going to Chiboga Tuesday. This is how I used to do it. Tuesday and Thursday, I would go to Chiboga. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the rest of the day, I would be in Kampala, in the Kampala office. Then, along those days were the days when I would be teaching. At least in one of those days, I would be teaching. Then, the studies, I was doing research, because the research was 2000, and I started in 2007, the research. So, but along the way, I felt I was being overwhelmed. Then I reduced and I resigned from teaching. I resigned from teaching in 2010. After the faculty of law had been introduced at Kampala campus, but then I saw I was being so unfair to the students, because sometimes I would be overwhelmed and very tired. And this is my law firm that I started, and I've been the managing partner since. Managing partner means you are the one in charge. You can delegate other issues, but being in charge of the law firm, you cannot delegate. So in 2010, I resigned from teaching, and I remained with the other obligations. Then 2012, I also, we got a fourth born, and in 2013, I also closed the Chiboga office because I found it was now becoming too much for me, because I had to concentrate and balance. I had a family, now the family was growing, I had to balance, though I needed money, but of course I had established structures in Chiboga to ensure that the work was still moving on. But then, somehow, it became too much for me, and I came to Kampala. And from then, I have been in Kampala. We are operating in Kampala for all those years. Then 2014, we got our fifth born. So basically, that is the background. Because if I tell you these issues, when you can get practical examples of what happens, of how you can handle these issues as a mother, as a wife, as a career woman. So what do you have to do? You first of all have to be prayerful. You have to be very prayerful for the Almighty Allah to guide you accordingly, to always prevail over any circumstances, any challenges that come your way. Because if you're not prayerful, sometimes you get a lot of challenges. You wake up at night, because everything is not a bed of roses. But you have to see how to juggle out and balance these issues. Then you have to persevere. Kulemerako. Me, when I was starting my office in Chiboga, people were like, hey, you're going to Chiboga? There is a lot of witchcraft there. Are you a born of that area? Are you doing this? I said, no, I'm not a born of that area because I come from Mukono. So I am not a born of that area. So what prompted you to go there? Because I know I was told it has greener pastures there. There are greener pastures there. Because by that time in Chiboga, there was no law farm. And actually mine has since been the longest serving in Chiboga. So people were like, but how do you manage? How could you have gone to Chiboga? How could you? I told them, no. You have to persevere. Because now even if I started from Kampala, and actually the person who advised me to go to Chiboga saw the potential in me and said, I am advising you to go to Chiboga. Some people think Chiboga is very far, but it is not very far. And by that time it had no tarmac. Yeah? You would reach, actually the people who were there, I mean, by the time I went there, they had started tarmacking the road. But those that were there told me they would travel for 5 hours. And 5 hours you have to travel with 2 pairs of clothes. Yeah? When you reach where you're supposed to go, you change. So it was really very challenging. But with all these, the challenges I have told you, or rather with all those obligations I have told you, you have to persevere. Or you know, that under whatever circumstances, you get so many negative comments from people, but you say no. And to make matters worse, during those days, even at university, seeing a veiled lawyer, actually I think was an abomination. It was not heard of. At university I was the only one veiling. Okay? But some of you are lucky. Okay? You veil without any hindrances. But at university, somebody will even just look at you like this, and it is like a lawyer veiled. When it came to our 3rd year, then that is when we started getting other people veiling. At least, and some of them had gotten married, and that is when they started. Then when it came to court, it was very, the judge would just look at you like this and is like, where is this a human being? Where does this one come from? And just some of them would even just show you right from the onset that you are not going to win the case before me. But then you would show that one that you're very competent to handle that case. And at the end of the day, that is when we got people started embracing the covering. And it is now, the last time I went to Makele, I was very happy the faculty of law. I saw people are covering at least every 30 people that would pass, you would see at least a veiled sister. And that was very encouraging. At IU, of course, it is the obvious. That one you cannot select who is dressed up willingly. But I hope for you, all of you here, you are, because some of them even have to pick veils from there, and I hope we are not among those that pick up veils. The mere fact that you're here, you can't be among those. So, we would get a lot of challenges, but you will say, I am going to prove to you, or I'm going to prove that I am one of the best. And Alhamdulillah, we did that, but also not forgetting that we had other obligations. So you have to persevere. Yeah? You're leaving the children behind. But so what I also did was to ensure that whenever I went, I would commute back, unless it was very, very unavoidable that I would not commute. So you ensure you move very early in the morning, and then you have to come back at night and ensure that all the children are there to see you. They are there. You have also your family obligations to your husband. So you ensure that you have to balance. Things are not the way you see them. When I was getting out of university, they were telling us, lawyers are very rich. Lawyers get a lot of money. But you have to choose. You have a name to protect. How will I be seen as a married woman or a wife to so and so doing this? There are so many crafty things that you have to do. But you say, Alhamdulillah, this is my rizq, I am stopping at that. Then you be patient. You should be very, very patient. And as also a wife, as a mother, you have to be very patient. There are so many challenges, but of course with the time, as you're prayerful, God in a way, Allah helps you to persevere and go through that at the end of the day. Then also the other issue is that you have to be committed. You have to be committed. Commitment is very, very important. Like my case, I had to be committed to my family. Very committed. A committed mother who is always there. And you have to always show appearance that you are always there at home. Make sure by the time the children sleep, you are there. But also make sure that when you go to court, rather you're needed in court or at office, you are there. Because if you're not committed, you will not get the clients. So where will you get clients? When you're always sympathizing, when you're always lamenting, when you want everybody to know, as you have a child, you have a sick child, remember these are sensitive clients you're dealing with. So you want every client to know my child is sick, you want every client to know you had this. No! You always have to be available. And you have to balance your time accordingly. Then also you have to always choose what is convenient. The convenient time for doing what. Like I have told you, I would choose. When I saw that the Chiwaka office would not fit within my program, I said, I really need that. So I chose, because I wanted to perfect in one area or the other. I had to handle the Kampala office. I had to handle the clients. So there is no way I would have handled them if I was moving up and down. Then also, I have also tried doing some other small businesses, small things. It may look very ambitious, but then once you know how to juggle out your issues very well, your obligations and your career, and you should know that as a Muslim woman, you have to be empowered. So you will not seek being empowered when you're not empowering yourself. You should know that you should empower yourself. Ensure that at least in whatever you do, you excel. Excel in whatever you do. Don't do half-baked things. Because if you don't excel, nobody will see you. If we have not been excelling in whatever we have been doing, people will not still be seeing us. After 20 years of being at university, close to 20 years, nobody will be seeing you. Nobody, we need you people. We need you to be groomed. And that is the reason we are grooming you. There is a very stiff competition, especially when it comes to women. Very stiff. Imagine how have I been able to maintain my office single-handed. Only that I have other people helping me, but single-handed. It is not been easy, but you have to be consistent. No lemberako, no one, no damu, no imuka. And don't accept to fail. And failure, atakugezako, should not be in any of your thoughts. These things, once you decide to do something, do it wholeheartedly with all your heart, all the spirit, all your energy. At least and you will always tell the people that I tried, I did this, and everybody knows that actually you did your best. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to tell me what lessons you have learned from that presentation. But has it been of help?
Yes.
Have you benefited anything?
Yes.
So, kindly tell me what you have benefited, what you have learned as we continue. Yes. We are on lessons learned, right? Okay. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Nambirige from IIFL's campus. I've learned that
Oli wa Lugave.
I've learned that in whatever thing we do, we should always be dedicated. Because when you have that dedication, automatically it will push you more.
More and more. Thank you. Actually, whenever you're dedicated to doing something, you're always pushed into venturing into other things. Those girls always tell me, Mommy, but this one you can manage. Sometimes you know that vibrance and what you say, nange kino nkisobola. Because if really I had not taken up that initiative of opening up my own law firm, at this point I would be like, I am being employed, so you have no opportunity of opening up, of showing other people that you can manage. You have to be dedicated. Thank you so much. Let me choose from behind. Yes? What are people sleeping? Why are people sleeping? Is it boring? Hey.
What I've learned is, before doing anything, you have to put Allah first.
Yes. Thank you so much. Allah always has to be first in whatever you do. In whatever you do, just seek guidance from Allah. Because when I was starting all those, whatever I would do, I would first wake up to pray and seek Allah's guidance. But is this going to be the right thing? Is it the right thing for me to do? And I always tell people, once I think of an idea, I sleep over it. 2 days sleeping over it. If it's not the right thing, of course, by tomorrow, you'll be having a different idea. That maybe you do this or that. But when you pray to Allah, that is when you get what? You get the... So you have to put Allah first in whatever you do. Somebody here had something. Yes. Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Nasima. I've learned about the positivity in everything. Seek for the positive in everything. Because you would have said, I don't get there, that side of that you go. But you decided to take it.
Thank you so much. So always be optimistic. Be optimistic in whatever you do. Always think of the positive side. Why would you start something and start thinking of the negative side? That I'm going to start and fail. At least you're failing. But when you have done your best. But whenever you start something, there are no trials in life. Just do it with all your might, with all your heart, or jakulaba. Well, maybe somehow Allah will help you and guide you and get you solutions. Yes, but this business of being pessimistic, now look at what I was doing there. But bulungi
byabalondemu
si byabalondemu nammwe mubisobola bulungi. Let me now choose from that area. Yes. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So never give up on something unless you have gotten a solution. Maybe something you fail here and say, but really, I have done my best. Like I started an NGO somewhere along the way. You see these things of cola, no cola. Where are people getting? Why can't I help? Because I was doing an NGO for human rights. It was a human rights NGO. So I was like, but I want to help people. Now, like these issues of the case that I started. So I was thinking, but there are so many human rights violations. Why can't I take it up? Let me open up an NGO. So I did my best. Along the way, of course, it collapsed. Because there are so many issues. Like they are telling me, like Madame Shifa told you, they tell you, you are supposed to do this. But there are some issues that you can't go into. There are some issues you say, let me leave that. You end up not getting money and you leave it at that. But now there are even so many restrictions when it comes to NGOs. You feel you cannot handle anymore. So you don't give up unless you have a solution for something. Okay? You say now I've left this NGO. So what is that? What is the other option that I can take on besides these ones? So what else can I do? Then you get another one. Somebody. Now who the other one? Wa alaikum salam. I'm going to hand all of you, don't worry.
I've learned to be creative in that Madam managed to come up with the farm laws.
Thank you so much. You have to be creative. That is very important. You have to be creative. Actually, those girls already sometimes laugh at me. When I am creative, there are some things that they cannot believe, but they say, "Man, you a fighter." when we were in COVID, I felt I could not sit. So I even felt those girls could not just sit at home, just wake up and eat and do this. So I made them do so many things, but not that I wanted them to know that to have some business skills, and I also wanted them to have skills, hand-on skills. Like for example, I made them do cakes. I made them do, and cakes, by the way, we had not even known, I didn't even know how to make cakes. But somehow we sat, we got our phones, we sat and we got from Google, it directed us, and we started doing. We started doing the donuts, but from scratch. We made even briquettes. Sometimes they would even tell me, Mommy, but we are touching cow dung. I told them, yes, let us touch cow dung because we have to learn these issues. Yeah? We have to, those briquettes, do you know briquettes? Yes. Yes, you make in cow dung plus ash, the charcoal ash. Then what else? Some soil. Yeah? And when you're cooking, you put in the sigiri, and you have to minimize the charcoal that you spend. So all those issues, you have to be very, very creative. And as a mother, also besides your career, these are all issues that can help you, especially when you have financial, you can manage your finances very well. And in the family, you need those financial skills, of how you don't overspend, but if you're not extravagant, then also your husband will be very appreciative of you and very happy. But you move on very well. Somebody had a hand before coming. Yes. What? Are you done? Yes. Walaikum salam. You have learned that multitasking is what?
Not a me.
It's
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's true.
I'm still a student. I want to be a mother in my 20s. I want to do my career or make a profession. And I want to do my master's. But I think time is not the same thing.
Exactly.
But when I see that she did all that, this particular career, I think I also do.
Thank you. You know, when I was at university, people were like, lawyers don't get married. And I was like, how can I stay when I am not married? You know those stereotypes? Lawyers don't get married. And these great ladies who used to mentor us actually been there. They would come and train us very well. So you're like, but how am I not going to get married? I said, I have to get married. Actually, I have to get married when I'm still studying. And I see what will happen. Otherwise, at that point, I would not have gotten married. Maybe I would have said, I wait until I complete. And I said, no, let me get married. I'm sure people that lawyers can get really married. And from there, I also said, now besides the marriage, now I have my children. I also have to start my own law firm such that I show people that even female lawyers can get. Actually, I'm one of the female lawyers, the senior, because I'm a senior lawyer. I am one of the senior female lawyers in the law firm. In my own names for all these years. Okay? So I said, no, let me now see, as a man, as a wife, if I cannot carry on my profession, as a managing partner of the law firm. So multitasking is good. It is real. And this I'm telling you, and the reason they chose me to come here is because it is real. We are not telling you things in the ideal. It is being practical. Okay? Yes. Peace Hanifa.
Today, are you a rock campus?
A rock campus.
Yes, my name is Rights NGO. I'd like your presentations, and this is the lesson.
Speak loud.
Success of life will create a proud for you, but after in life will bring a true person for you. The reason that's why I've come up with this quotation is success of life will create a proud for you. The success that you have achieved in your life has created many people to look at you.
Exactly.
And that's why it's the reason that's why they've invited you here. But the real tough times that you've gone through have really made you a true person.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I have gone through a lot. I'll not say, like I said, it is not a bed of roses, but there are very tough times that you can go through. Like, for example, you may get this, now like when I was still in yoga, you would think like, but is it working for me? Can I close this office? But then you say, no. I have to push on. There are other people that are looking at me. There are other people that are looking up to me. So when I close this law firm, won't I be a failure? So you push on. Thank you so much. Yes. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Nambirige from University, and what I've learned is separating on an area where I can do best.
Exactly.
For example, in year 2010, you had to focus on your studies, law firm, and family, and you had to resign from being a lecturer.
Yes, thank you so much. I told you have to be focused. When you feel you're not doing well, or you feel you're being unfair to one group, you say, Alhamdulillah, let me leave that. Because sometimes I would come from yoga when I am very tired. By that time I was teaching the mainstream law. I was teaching, is it evidence? And it was very, it required a lot of thinking, practicability and what. So when I was in class, you travel very early in the morning, you have a baby sometimes. Actually, when I started going there, sometimes I would go with my baby. This is the one of 2008. I would go with her. Then sometimes, then those are days maybe when I'm not having class. But there are days when I was having class to teach. So you would go to Chiboga very early in the morning. You wake up sometimes at 4 because Fahima had to go to school at 5. The bus will pick her at 5, and those people were very late. So at 4 you are up. You have to first take her to the bus stop. They pick her to come back, or sometimes you go at once. Then you go to Chiboga. Then you come back very tired. But you have to teach. Sometimes you're dozing and you're like, no, I'm being very unfair to these students. Let me resign. And I resigned very well. But hey, I went back, currently. I went back this year. I went back because I felt I had to give back to society. So that is how I introduced myself as a lecturer, because I had just gone back. And actually, this goes back to concentrating. Because now the children have now grown up, I feel I have some space. That is why I went back to teach. And I have already empowered other people to do some work in the office, so I can do other things. Yes? Walaikum salam. Hajat, you're most welcome. I was telling these ladies how you people mentored us
in the university and had what? Excelled. Yes? They will just be looking for you. And I had Hadija, come and help us in this what? In this area. And I know, please. It is not like today, where so many people have masters, so many people have PhD, so you cannot easily go there.
Thank you, Hajat. Actually, I didn't want to talk about I usually want to remain silent on my... But yes, I think this is the last. Oh, no. Okay, you're going to be the last. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Nuruh. I'm from IOS. Now, my lesson is that expertise piece of advice should never be taken for granted. Because if at all you eliminated that piece of advice which was given to you in the first place, like to set up the law firm in Chigoga, if at all you eliminated that piece of advice.
Thank you so much. You know, being very high, but who can go to Chiboga? Who can do this? How can I, like, people are like, but how can you go to Chiboga? I said, this is where I'm seeing my future. And that is where Allah helped me to excel, and people would see me, and the Hajatis would be happy. Yes, this is our mentee, the person that will make it. Yes, finally with you.
My name is
Elvis. That is great, Mashallah.
I think, I thought, because now I've changed. I thought that I can't handle this when I'm married. Because even when they are already us, and they want they tell us that even if you are in love, please tell that husband or tell your boyfriend that I'm at LD. So you cease all the relationship that you have. So I'm happy for that, and I think I can manage. I think I'm a bit.
Don't worry.
So what I've learned is that when we are choosing partners as ladies, we have to get supporting and loving husbands. Because if I was not caring, I would not have competent husbands.
Thank you so much. That is very important. Your spouse has to be very supportive and very caring. You have to, you pray to God, you pray to the Almighty Allah, to give you a caring spouse. Yes, because now if she was not caring, I would not have finished. Up to now, I don't know where. My time is up, but I thank you so much for being very active. I have no audacity to introduce my senior here, but we are very grateful for training us. Jaja is there, Jaja Sarah is there, and they have really mentored us very well. And they are the people through whom Allah has really made us great people. We are very grateful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.